golf course was to be a caddy. And
Mhm.
believe it or not, a lot of times that those black caddies were better than the people that were playing.
That's right.
Mm.
And
But
also,
that,
Mark, let me ask you this: with that caddy, he's not only carrying those golf clubs, and I think he's also reading the greens for that golfer, right? He's giving him distance. Okay. He's also when you get up on that green and you're putting, he's reading that. So, oh my goodness, go on,
well,
Mark.
he wasn't. Well, the first tour. Well, I remember my dad making me read about this. That's why it brings it back to me because he won the Greater Hartford Open like in back in the late '60s,
Hmm.
and he won on a seniors tour also. But see, back then, well, he went on a seniors tour. But see, a lot of people didn't know this, William. Uh, uh, you had the United Golf Association's uh, Negro Open, which he won that at least 6 or 7 times.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna get to that. I just wanted you to comment on that because I got more. I just wanted you to jump in there and talk about this a little bit because this is the deal.
He
Okay.
got in late. By the time he was able to really start competing, hell, he was already into his 40s, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. It was no question about this. But and see, to think about it, if you, I'm gonna talk about Tiger Woods in a second here, and I'm gonna tell you something. His son Charlie is going it going to turn some heads. It gonna
But
make
let
some
me ask you, but let me ask you a quick question, William, and this is more in your area than mine. But outside of Mr. Sifford, you got to think about the Lee Elders
Lee Elder. Come on, that's
and
right.
the Calvin Peets
That's right.
who had to walk that walk before Tiger ever got a shot.
That's exactly right. And I tell you what, because of that, he got a shot. Because of those trailblazers, he got a shot. And it started with Sifford here. As a matter of fact, let's do this. I got more for you. Tony Parker, historian of for the World of Golf Hall of Fame and Museum in St. Augustine, Florida, said the battles fought by Sifford and others benefited more than just black golfers. Hey guys, I want you to think about that. Let me read this again. Tony Parker, historian for the World Golf Hall of Fame and Museum in St. Augustine, Florida, said the battles fought by Sifford and others benefited more than just black golfers. He opened the door for all ethnicities. Guys,
Ooh.
you have to also think about this because remember the PGA was all white.
I
Yep,
tell you one
that
thing
is
that a lot
true.
of people don't bring up. This dude had gotten the Presidential Medal of Freedom Award back
He
in
sure did.
2014, but it took a black president to award it to him,
He sure
and Barack
did.
Obama.
He sure. You're exactly right, Mark. 1,000%. Check this out, folks. It gets gooder. Tiger Woods told the Associated Press in an email that he may never have taken up the game were it not for Sifford and unhurled greats like Ted Rhodes. I don't know that name. Bill, who is this? Bill Spiller? Bill Spiller? Okay. Who is Ted Rhodes? Who is Bill Stiller? We need to know this. Okay. Man, this is good. Woods has long called Sifford the grandfather he never had. Hey, folks,
Wait,
I never heard this story before. Sifford and Woods' father, the late Earl Woods, became fast friends when Tiger was still playing junior golf. Wow, 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 wow. It's not an exaggeration to say that without Charlie and other pioneers, okay, to play, I may not be playing golf, Woods wrote. Is it Tiger's only son named Charlie?
Yeah, and I want to give a props out to Tiger. His mom passed. I believe
Mm-hmm.
it's been within the last 2 weeks.
Yeah. Wow. Woods wrote, my pop likely his dad who taught Tiger the game. And keep in mind, his dad was a strict teacher. It's my understanding that when Tiger was putting, his dad would be shaking keys and stuff like that to try to distract him. That's the story that I heard, Bark.
Hey,
Oh,
well, that's why. But you want to know why? Hey, he was preparing him for what he was going to have to deal with.
yep. That's
Because, hey, I remember one time I'll never forget. The one time I ever seen him get distracted. He's getting ready to take a shot, and the dude clicked the camera on him. And Tiger said, "Come on, man." I mean,
yeah. I saw that. Mm. Born in North Carolina, Charlotte, North Carolina, on June the 2nd, 1922, Siffer's interest in golf began as a boy. As he made a living through caddying, he also had the opportunity to groom his golf skills. By age 13, he was shooting par. Are you serious, guys? If you know anything, you who don't know what par means, I'm not going to take the time right now to try to break that word. Because you have, oh my God, what's better than eagle? Eagle, you get a birdie, or par.
you get a hole in one,
Hole in one. What do they call that? An
an
albatross,
ace, an ace.
an ace. What? Okay, so it's scored that way. You have to look it up. All right, but let me see if I can break this down. If I am playing a par four, okay, I'm going to tee off, okay, and then I get a second shot, okay, and if I get that second shot onto the green, okay, the green is where the flag is, and if I sink that hole, I got a birdie. If I come back and I make that other one, I have a par. That means I'm even. If I miss that, but I get a chance to, I hit the next one, and I hit that, make that, then I have a bogey. That means I've lost a point. That's the closest I can explain it right now. Okay, man, oh man, oh man. Okay. However, his advancement. Remember, he was shooting par at the age of 13. Hey, folks, that is a big grown man's golf course, and you got a kid at 13 shooting par, shooting even. Okay.
Well, let me tell you something, William. That son of Tigers, he's gonna be a bad boy.
Oh, isn't he? He sure is. Right now, he's better than his dad.
Well, here's the thing. The only thing I would say I would like to see differently is see the media does a lot of this. Let that dude let him just come along. Don't get the pushing and all that stuff. Let him come along. Don't try to put all that pressure on him, and he'll be okay.
He'll be okay. And I don't think, I really don't think Tiger's going to let that happen because I haven't seen it yet. Now, how old is Charlie right now?
Like 15.
15. Because, like, not like football or basketball or even baseball, you can't go pro at the age of 15. But with tennis, I think with tennis and with golf, you can go as early as 16 or 17, I believe. Am I right?
Well, Tennessee, you can play at 12. I mean, they don't have no age restrictions, it seems like.
And it doesn't, and with golf either. Okay, that's interesting, isn't it? Oh, I find that interesting. Okay, now I'm gonna finish up with this with Doctor Schiffer. However, his advancement was limited because of race, discrimination, and the Jim Crow era. Even though Sifford made significant strides in his career, he continued to be a target of harassment and death threats prior to and following the abolishment of the Caucasian only clause. Oh, yeah. How is that for diversity, huh? Stifford honed his game at the United Golf Association, a tournament circuit established in the mid 1920s by black golfers and allowed golfers of all races to compete. He won the UGA's biggest event, the National Negro Open, 6 times. That's what you were talking about earlier, Mark, including 5 successive years from 1952 to 1956. And I had never heard of this dude before in my life. Folks, that's why Black history is so important, because it gives us a chance to acknowledge and appreciate our ancestors and, most importantly, be inspired by it. K-Love,
Yeah, man.
I'm not sure whether you knew anything about golf, you knew anything about this, but what did you think about the story I just read?
I'm gonna
And
tell
take
you
the
what,
chaplain.
I was blown away by the knowledge that was dropped. I mean, and the funny and the wildest thing is there's still a lot to uncover because, like I said, I was just learning all this on the fly in the last 15, 20 minutes. So I mean, it's just amazing how the whole story, just revealed itself, and it's like Sifford opened the doors for a lot of black golfers.
And that's what he did.
Yeah.
Hey, Mark, your thought on that? Then we're going to go back. We're going back and forth today. But I was just sent this article. This
My
is
thing is this for him.
listening. Mark. Okay, we lost Mark on that. Hopefully he'll be back shortly.
Yeah, he should be
But
back.
but think about, see, information, education is powerful, and knowledge is powerful.
Yes, it is.
Let's unwrap that.
Oh
Why?
yeah, definitely.
Why is knowledge power? Why is information power? Hey, Mark, you back?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, you had something to
You
say.
hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Well, my thing is this. I look at this. And it's weird how, unless you kind of look into it yourself, you ain't gonna find out a lot of this. These great African American men did before us.
That's right.
I mean, it's almost like it's kept away in archives somewhere, and it's like find it yourself. Because my attitude about it is this: I heard stories years ago how when it came to golf, and trust me, 99.9% of your caddies were black.
That's right.
And the thing, it was because they had regular jobs, but they were carrying them for. And then you get these other stories. You see your layout, your Calvin Peaks.
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you something else. I don't know how much we lost Mark for a minute. I don't know how much golf you've looked at, Mark, but I really didn't start looking at it until Tiger came on the scene. Let me put it back. Hey, Mark is back. Yeah, as far as it's concerned, Mark, you're back.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that's bothered me is that ever since Tiger, we really ain't had nobody else that's stepped up, at least that I know of, that has tried to carry that torch. And it's amazing because now the only person we can look at would be his son.
Mm-hmm. Now,
And
before we had Tiger, there was Lee Elder, wasn't it?
it was Calvin Pete and
Calvin.
Leah. Yeah, Calvin Pete.
Okay. Now, see this. Oh, see, Mark, this is the thing we're talking about. And you brought an excellent point. Is that all of the famous golfers? They had caddies, and folks, you look at a caddy on TV. That's the guy wearing holding the golf clubs. He's carrying the golf club. And I can't reiterate more than what I'm saying is that caddy is more than somebody just carrying the golf clubs. He's the guy's eyes. He's the cat that looks at how that shot should be taken. He looks at the cat that reads the greens. Are you serious right now? And the caddies has been underrated, except for that jerk of a caddy that Tiger Woods had, that made Tiger Woods made this cat a ton of money. Yet he go.
Are you talking about that idiot Steve Williams?
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, he waits till after he wants to try to jump on after the situation. You know, I want to tell you real quick, William, this is my opinion. You know, what Tiger was doing in his personal life between him and his wife, that's really his business.
That's right.
You know, it was none of our business. You know, you had that guy Justin Parnovic or whatever his name. He called himself Paladin. I introduced his wife to him. Well, okay, guess what? You introduced your wife, your wife's friend to him, who at the time was a nanny that made Tiger. Anyway, if you want to ask me, she the one that came up because she was a babysitter before she met Tiger. Anyway, right. She got rich off. I mean, that's his deal. Handle your business. But anyway, my thing is this. This dude, the caddy, Steve Williams, became world known because he was Tiger's caddy. The first dude he had was this dude named Fluff. He's had a real fluffy mustache. I don't know what happened between them.
I remember Fluff.
And see, I don't know what happened between them. But see, after that dude did that to Tiger, I don't think he ever got another job.
He shouldn't. No, he did once after that, but he faded away.
Yeah, good for him. I hope he go back to New Zealand and crawl under that damn rock he comes from, because that was nothing but a backstabbing individual who lets me know he never had Tiger's back.
He never did. And he was a racist too. Yeah,
but yet he was the caddy. That even thinking about that dude teased me off.
I had to bring it up because we don't realize that. And we were talking about caddies. And these, I don't know, I can't picture it right now. I'll guarantee you, like the top golfers ever, they had black caddies. So who read the greens? Who judged the distance? Folks?
Who told them what club they need to use?
That's exactly right. Matter of fact, the caddy pulled the club out of the bag, don't he?
Yeah, he did.
No, that's what happens. If you look at a golfer, that caddy is the one that reaching there, pull that club out.
Yep.
That's exactly right. Folks, don't let them fool you. Because, see, the thing about it, a lack of knowledge will cripple you. Okay? That's why it's so important for you to know your history and realize you do and you can and you have the motivation. And you just need to tap into it. But what happens is there's a trick. People will plant stuff in your mind all the time. Oh, you can't do that. You can't do this. This is who you are. Don't let anybody tell you who in the hell you are. I get pissed off even talking about it. Anyway, let's get back. But I thought no, I'm serious, man.
Don't that makes me mad. That's why I said. That's why I had to take a minute to breathe. Yes, man, I get pissed off when it comes to this.
There's no question about it. Okay, hey, with the few minutes we got left going on here. Okay, hey, Mark.
Yes, sir.
You gave your 5, didn't you?
Yes.
Teams. We're talking about basketball. Okay, let me give you my 5.
All right, go ahead.
And in no particular order.
All right.
Milwaukee Bucks. It seems like that. Boy, I hate to because I
See,
love
that's your
Dame.
squad, William. See, that's your squad, William. That's
And I know, and I love Dame. I love Dame, but dog, how much of a difference did that Drew Holiday trade mean? Because
it
Drew,
destroyed the team. It destroyed the team.
oh
Hey, if they'd have been smart now, they'd have gave up Chris Middleton. Hell, they ended up getting rid of him anyway.
yeah,
Yeah, they did.
you're exactly right. I'm saying, wow, and oh my God, if there was a way to get Dame and keep Drew Holiday, and they could have, couldn't they? I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Because also you got a different dynamic here. But doggone it. So my number 5 is that they're gonna have to show me something. Because right now they're 31-24 and they're 5th. But see, I'm gonna tell you something. Because right behind them are the Pistons, which are shocking me.
Oh, it's
I
shocking.
mean, I forgot the Detroit Pistons had a team. I forgot. No. Think about it. And number 6, a couple of slip offs going into the playoffs. Then the Bucks will have to play in, wouldn't they? Because right now they're number 5.
If
They
they
play
drop
the
them to
4th.
7, yes.
Okay. So man, they and my own. So I love my man. That's a bad boy. You guys know what I'm talking about.
But you know what? But
Giannis.
I
But
agree with you for a different reason. Because Bobby Portis is suspended for 25 games for PEDs.
But
you know what? But see, hey, they got blessed. I say they got blessed with this. They got Kyle Kuzma, and so they had to. I mean, they got Kyle Kuzma, so I think they can hold on.
Right, but the thing about it with Portis, though, there was a pain medication. Well, shucks, it wasn't. He wasn't snorting cocaine or using crack or.
But see, then you got to really pay attention to who the people are that's giving you stuff.
Yeah,
I think that was too harsh. I really think that was too harsh. I agree with you about the Kuzma deal. I think they lucked out on that. I love Giannis, but man, the team is not. They haven't gelled the way they're supposed to win a championship. Giannis is putting up a double every night. Okay, he's getting 35 points.
They haven't gelled. They haven't came together since that trade with Drew Holiday.
Yeah, man. At first, because I'm thinking,
and they fired They fired a coach they had no business firing.
Oh man, and see, and we ain't talked about that enough.
Oh, and the thing about it is, because I'm a Damian Lillard fan. I love Damian Lillard, right? And I didn't realize the impact. And now I had nothing to do with the trade. Now, don't get me wrong. I would not have gotten rid of Drew Holiday. When they got rid of, I said, no. They brought in Damian Lillard. I said, maybe he can make up for it or exceed it. But it doesn't matter how many points he put up either. They are not.
Yeah. Shakira Stevenson, this stuff, this dude.
Man. So that's my number 5 pick. Oh boy. Number 4, and like I said, this is in no order. The Lakers.
Yeah.
They're hard to trust. And again, you got like Giannis on the Bucks. LeBron James. I don't have any criticism about LeBron James. I really don't. Okay, it's that the rest of the guys need to show up. Somebody need to show up. Yep, I'm so glad that trade that they had. What's the boy's name? That failed on him. Hucks. What's his name?
That center?
No, the guy that had to come back to the Lakers.
Connect.
Because I saw him play a couple of times along with Reeves, and they were balling because it gives them that outside shot that they are desperately needing. Okay, and so, but the Lakers, they got to show me something, and I don't understand with Luka
Right.
averaging 24, 26 points with Dallas, and how much has he been giving the Lakers? Like 14?
I mean, he's getting 14, 16, and 14. He hasn't gotten past 16 points in 3 games.
Well, see, this is the thing about it.
I mean, maybe we criticize him too early, but you know, you've been there for a couple of weeks, but and I know it takes time, but like certain things will not change.
But see, that I don't understand that. As you know, I used to not praise him, but acknowledge how great of a shooter he is. And I'm saying, whoa. Why does that take time? That's because you went to another team. I don't understand that part. Are you not getting the ball? Okay. Is the a different state? Does that cause a problem? Okay. Altitude? I don't know. But no, I'm not going to let him off the excuse. But I'm not going to give a millionaire an excuse, especially if you are a prime ticket, supposed prime ticket performer. So I don't understand. But then on the other hand, you got AD that's going to be out for how long in Dallas? Mark, I don't see why they even made the trade.
I don't understand that. It never made sense. I don't know if it was because they had to pay somebody. I don't know what the hell it was. I'm being honest when I say that.
Well, you know, Luka was up for a mega contract because he was in line to sign a $350 million contract with Dallas. So I think Dallas bent the man over. Sorry.
But now he got traded. He lost $116 million out of that. You know,
Dallas pulled a back door on Luka.
Man,
that goes to tell you, these teams don't care about you because there
is no loyalty. See, that proves right there. There is no loyalty in businesses like this.
Look,
nothing.
You only with the NBA and the NFL. You only as good as your last stat.
Yep.
I mean, and that's why so many teams get destroyed. That's why so many teams fall apart because they don't stick with a system, You know, because how often have we seen a team start off in the first half of the season and then excel, in the second half? And so many teams that just fall apart because of poor management, poor coaching. It's just crazy. It's just absolutely crazy. So, what was that on? That was number 4, right?
That was number 4. Yep.
Okay. The Knicks.
Yep.
You know, I'm a Knicks fan. I love the Knicks. And I'm so happy that over the last couple of years or so, they have gotten back on track because, you know, for a couple of decades almost, the Knicks, they smell like garbage on 110 degree day right there in New York City. Let me tell you what happened. I love New York, I was out there one August, and they had the garbage out because there's millions of people there, even in the city, right? And garbage day, before the trash collectors come through, that place stinks. Okay, that's what the Knicks have been doing over years, and so I'm so happy because check this out. Even in their losing seasons, Caleb and Mark, you ever look in the stands? The stands are always packed.
Yep.
Even in losing seasons, and so I was so happy that the Knicks we're on a winning streak, but to get blown out the other night, that tells me they have a lot of fixing to do. A lot of fixing to do. Okay. Was that number 3?
Yes.
Oh boy. Number 2. No. 76ers, you don't even belong in this conversation, so we ain't talking about it. No.
Oh,
No.
man, look.
No. There's nothing no. Whoa.
No. I mean, you might as well shut. I'm glad you did bring it up though, because you might as well shut MB down.
Yeah, man, they're 20 and something. No. As a matter of fact, when the 76ers are on, I try to find something else to look at. Give me bird watching or
No. I'm gonna tell you how bad it was. It was so bad. Thursday night when the Celtics was dog walking them, I turned to the hockey game.
You said dog walking them.
They dog walked Philly. And in Philly, on top of that, I turned to and the hockey game was even more entertaining than the basketball game.
Okay, before I go to number 2, Mark, you
and I don't watch hockey. That's the sad part.
You know what? Rather than watching that crap, I would watch hockey.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Because all they do on hockey is fight anyway.
That's maybe I was.
So you get skating, athletics, and fighting, all boxing all in one. So anyway, hey Mark.
Yeah.
What? Okay, you the general manager of the Philadelphia 76ers. Besides throwing, with the risk of throwing the baby out with the bathwater, what in the hell would you do to turn that team around?
Okay. I'm serious when I say this. I would have got rid of Joel Embiid before the trade deadline, basically to try to recoup something. Because now you are dealing with damaged goods for the rest of his career. He's already indicated he might have to have another surgery.
Yep, he sure did.
Yep.
He has not played a full season. I don't know in how long. He came out of college hurt. I don't think he played his first 2 years or something like that. Now on the back end of it, he's a top talented player. But I would have traded him, got draft pick, whatever I had to do, get first round picks, whatever, and start rebuilding my team. I'd have got rid of him. I wouldn't have ever signed Paul George, but I'd try to get rid of him. And I would have tried to rebuild my team around Tyrese Maxey.
I sure would. I concur. I agree with you 1,000,000%. That's exactly what I would do. Embiid has only played 55-56% of the time he's been in the league. Now, it's no question. The man has talent. Okay, he's a big man. My knock on him, injuries are a thing that's hindered him throughout his career. I think he takes too many 3-pointers. He's big enough, he's strong enough, and I'll tell you what, it'd be a whole different game if he played inside out instead of outside in.
Let me put it to you like this, William. At his size, why are you playing outside?
That's right.
See, I'm still old school with that. You 7 feet, get down in the paint.
Mark, hey, bro, again, I couldn't agree with you more. Could not agree. That's my point. And then what these guys do, Paul George and the rest of these clowns come down, with the exception of Maxey, and then they want to jack up 3-pointers, which you're missing 80% of them. You're not going to win games like that. You got a guy like Embiid that has the size, has the skills, and get him 10 feet in, 3-4 feet away from the basket, unstoppable. Rebounding, you got that too. Okay? I mean, when is the last time Philly had an offensive rebound? They come down and jack up 3-pointers, then run down the end of the court. I had to turn the game off, man. I'm serious. So what was that, K-Love? What was that?
You was in them. Well, you wanted to go with number 2, but you said Philly wasn't in the conversation.
Okay, yeah, I did. Wow.
So who did you originally have? Actually,
I love this team right here, and I don't know what I need to see any more out of them or not. Perhaps I do.
but
The Grizzlies, right now, they're sitting at number 2, and so they're 8.5 games out of first place behind the Thunder. Boy, oh boy, oh boy! I think I love their exciting team to watch. They can score. They can run people. They can run with the best of them. I need to see them get to the conference finals. Can you imagine the Grizzlies coming out of the Western Conference? Whoa! And then we have to understand. And then leading up against the Celtics or Cavaliers in the finals. But then, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Celtics Cavaliers. Even though the Celtics are 6 games behind the Cavaliers, the Celtics they're not to be played with.
Nope.
We mentioned earlier, right?
Exactly.
Oh my God. You got Brown.
Well, you said something earlier, William, about Memphis. This is where I'm at with Memphis at this point. I'm tempted to put out offers to see what I could get for John Morant.
Oh, you know
what?
Yeah, you know what? As a matter of fact, I saw that on ESPN earlier this week. Should or would Memphis trade John Morant? Okay.
I tell you why.
Why, Mark?
I gotta hear this.
This is why.
Why?
I don't think they're going to get any better. I like the coach and things of that nature. But I would try to get rid of him now because you're going to have to end up. It's going to be, how can I put it? Get him at his highest value now. I think he needs to change. I think he needs to change the scenery. He ain't even playing enthused at this point to me.
He's not playing enthused, you say?
No, there's no enthusiasm. When do you know John Morant get 15, 16 points in the last 4 or 5 games? I think you got to start entertaining that thought.
So you think so you think he's peaked out right now in Memphis?
100% do.
Okay, so let me ask you then, where, if you had to pick a team that you think that he might fit and might really make a difference, I'm talking about, when I'm saying making a difference, you get it in that conference finals. What team where would you send him? I don't care East or West. Where would you send him?
At this point, if it's me, I want to make a splash. Probably the Miami Heat.
Whoa! All right.
Wow.
You know what? And this is what's crazy.
Wow.
Because what if could happen if the first part of Mark's statement is true? What if it comes out to fruition? At least if John Morant. See, I haven't even looked into that per se, not on that angle, but that's something you have to probably start looking into, because are there going to be any trade talks popping this, later on down the line? And I'm thinking like, okay, this is going to be scary, because if something happens and we're going to end up revisiting this conversation and be like, you might get a text from me and say, Mark, remember back then you said, John Morant peaked out, and I'm like, okay, all right, you know what? Because he has been on a heater the last several occasions. So, and what's to say? Who's to say that not gonna happen again? You never know.
Yeah, but he has, for the most part, he has behaved this year. Yeah. So that kind of, because when it comes to Ja, I question the people that he surrounded himself with.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
To start off, you got to look at his dad.
oh boy,
Yeah, because
you took the next words out of my mouth.
he got ejected again recently.
You took the words out of his mouth. His dad is not a. That's a damn shame to say about a young man.
No, it's
Yeah,
weird you
no,
say
but,
that. No, because
no, seriously, man. His dad is not a good influence, and that's a damn shame. His dad is acting like one of his boys. Come on, man. You got a very talented, extremely talented young man in Ja Morant. You would hope that the dad is way more mature than his son. Yet what I don't know a whole lot about this, and I'm studying right now because it's incredible how some of these parents are a detriment to these athletes.
Right.
And once your son or daughter makes it to a certain place, get the hell out of the way. Especially if you got the maturity of a rat. You got the maturity. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to go there. Okay. Of someone who's far less mature. Because, see, you have to understand, 80% of the game is mental. I would go as far as saying 90% of the game is mental. The other
is talent.
It's talent. The smaller point, you can have how many talented? All of us can go around the board right now and look at talent that have gone by the wayside because they didn't have the mental acumen. I'm thinking about this boy that played for the Lakers a long time ago. Oh my goodness, I can see his face right now. And he ended up being no more than a cheerleader. And his mom had to drive him to practice because he was always late for practice. Who am I thinking about, Mark? I know you know what I'm talking about. He was too damn lazy to go to practice. And his mom had to make sure he got there. We're talking about a grown.
Who was that? William, I'm trying to think. Who was that?
I'm trying to think right now because the Lakers was his last stop. But he was extremely, extremely talented, acrobatic, talented. But he got in his own way, Mark. His mom had to drive him to practice.
It wasn't Trevor Reese. Let me think who it was.
What you say now?
They had what? I'm trying to think. Who was that?
And I think he play during the Kobe era, right around there, early in the Kobe era, I believe. Oh my God! But he was supposed to be the Knicks. Lakers wasn't his first stop. He got traded to the Lakers, and he was only on the sideline for 2 years. And he just feels so bad that even when they were in a championship or in championship games, he was on the sideline just.
Oh, you talking about J.R. Ryder?
That's all I'm talking about.
Yeah, J.R. Ryder.
How? Okay, help me out, Mark. J.R. Ryder was a very talented basketball player. Am I right?
He was a bad boy out of Oakland.
Yeah.
Okay. What was his problem?
You can take a person out the hood. Sometimes you can't take that hood out the person.
So when we talk about that, we're talking about the mental part of the game, aren't we? He had all the skills in the world. but his mind wasn't right. He didn't have the right people around him. And it seemed like to me, with all that money, even with the resources of, and now I don't know how much the Lakers put into say, hey, women, hold it. JR, we need you to see this counselor or that counselor. If those aren't right, we need to send you to another one.
Hey, let me tell you something. When he got drafted, he was drafted by the Timberwolves. Became an all-star. He won a dunk contest one year out of UNLV.
Yep.
Bad dude.
Yep.
Oh, God, he got a technical foul for something. Hey, man, it got to the point where his mother came out the stands and said, "You get the hell off the court."
Mm-hmm. Yep, I remember that. Oh, so that's absolutely incredible to me that you've got a career of your lifetime. Because it's not like there are a whole lot of jobs in the NBA. Okay, if you think about jobs percentage-wise, there's not a lot of jobs in the NBA and even the NFL. Even though you got more plus, there's not a lot of jobs available. And if you are fortunate enough to get a job like that, and you make it more than the upper 5% of the world, and you don't do what you need to do to protect that, there is a mental problem there. The same mental thing that is needed to sustain that career. And that's why when it comes to wins and losses, you have to look at K-Love on the athletes that can hold it together.
Right.
You know who I saw today on TV? I hadn't seen his, I just saw a commercial or something, and it was for a brief time. K-Love and Mark, and one of the athletes that I most respect ever is Akeem Olajuwon. And Mark, remember this thing he said? I have an obligation. He said, I have an obligation, because the question was asked, what's your thinking about what you do in the NBA? He said, I have an obligation to bring my best every night. I have a duty. That's how serious he took his, and
Well, hey,
you have to respect it.
you know what people don't realize? It is a privilege
Yep.
Mhm.
to be able to play a sport that I used to go down to the playground and play every day, and you get to do it for a living.
Think about that. It is. And just like when we opened the show, we were talking about the All-Star game. And man, look, if they don't do something drastic next year, I'm not watching it at all. I only watched a little bit of it. Okay. And I don't know what happened during the Sundays. That's for the All-Star game. What is this crap? You got 3-4 teams and they compete for a while. I didn't even I refuse to try.
It sounded complicated, but it's like one of those, like there was too much stoppage in play in between. I think they wanted to give a tribute to TNTs inside the NBA because it's supposed to end after this season. So they wanted to pay homage to like Chuck and Kenny and Shaq and all of them. But I think the way it was formulated, I don't know. I didn't quite get that one.
Well, guess what? You're not the only one. So what is this about TNT because I like Kenny, Shaq, Ernie,
Yeah.
and Charles and that's an award-winning show. So why did he decide to break up after this year?
No,
I
what it is
think
is about contractual rights, and now it becomes a bidding war on who gets the NBA coverage. That's between the NBA and probably ESPN and all them other
Mm,
networks just trying to bid on getting the league.
okay. So TNT decided not to get into the bidding war, or they lost.
I'm
I
not
think they
quite.
lost it. I think they lost it.
Okay.
Or got outbid because if I remember, I think NBC is supposed to bring it back
Hmm.
next year, I believe.
Well, I tell you what, announcers, believe it or not, the pregame and postgame and mid-game announcers, that means a lot. It's just like the announcers in the booth, play by play. Okay, they adds or subtracts to the game. There are certain channels, and I don't care whether I'm watching football or basketball. There are certain announcers that I don't even like their voice. I don't like the energy that they bring and stuff like that.
You know what? When we grew up, we had certain. Now I know who my favorite sports reporter used to be. It was Dick Schaap as a kid.
I love him.
I used to think Dick Schaap was the man.
Yep.
Loved him. When it
Yep.
came to the NBA, I love Hubie Brown.
Huey Brown.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, my all-time favorite, I can see him right now. Oh my God. You know who I'm talking about. Oh, shucks. Dick Vitale's
Oh
appearance.
man, I look when
Well,
I
you
mean
know
man,
what though?
up,
I like the old school cats because
yeah,
I like Brent Musburger,
yep,
Uh-huh.
guys like Don
Yep.
Criqui, uh, Chris Schenkel. I mean, you had Kurt Gowdy. I mean, they made every sport you wanted to watch. I mean, for whatever sport it could be. Pat Summerall and John Madden.
Uh-huh.
yep.
Uh-huh. And you're missing one. You're missing one.
What for football or Howard Cosell?
And not only that, he's also announced boxing.
Boxing.
And
But see, he made Monday Night Football to me. Hey, as a kid, I used to want to stay up and listen to his halftime highlights.
oh man. And him and Muhammad Ali were good friends. Him and Muhammad Ali, he loved Muhammad Ali. I saw them doing many post game interviews. You remember that, Mark?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Howard Cosell. And Howard Cosell, it's crazy. Almost like Dick Vitale. They brought a different kind of energy. It was like they were kids in a candy store,
Oh yeah.
watching the sport that they were announcing, right? And you're right. Oh, and I tell you what, one of the most embarrassing, Mark, I don't know whether you remember this or not, or even old enough or not. One of the most embarrassing things that ever happened in sports. And they decided, I don't know what dumbass decided to do this. They decided that they were going to have, they just was going to play the football game with no announcers and no sound.
Oh, that was the New York Jets in Miami. Oh, that was the most horrible thing I ever seen. I was like in eighth, ninth grade, something. And they did the whole game with no announcers.
What?
It was no announcers.
Oh my god.
The only pick you got from that crap was when they switched to a commercial. Then
I
they
was
went
like,
back.
Oh Lord.
I was like, what?
Hey, Mark,
What?
I don't know what producer decided that.
Yeah, well, they got fired because that never happened again.
He had to get fired. He had to get fired. Hey, Kevin, do you know anything about that at all?
I didn't know anything about that one though, but
That is a fact.
wow.
The whole game, it was silence. It was silence.
And they had closed caption like words coming across first and 10. I said,
Yes, it
what
did.
they doing? That game was on a Saturday.
Who
Yes.
signed off on this in the first place?
Oh my God.
Oh Lord.
It was and look, it was.
Who that?
You know what? I can't. Hey, Mark, I can't think of a worse sports experience I ever had in my life. I can't think of a worse one. That had to be. That had to go into the worst, whatever category Hall of Fame. The worst. Okay, I almost dropped a S word on that. The worst I ever seen or heard of in my life. It was crazy.
Wow.
No. Wow. Look, you would rather watch a dog show.
Yeah. Or something else.
Or a butterfly convention.
Yeah, anything else at this point.
You know, people digging for worms. I mean, anything. No, I'm serious. It was absolutely horrible. It was, oh God, I'm serious. This is probably. Oh my. Marcus dropped off. Hey, K-Love.
Yeah, man.
Oh, did I get my number one yet?
No.
Okay, I'm gonna get my number one.
And who might that be?
Okay, there's Mark. Okay, I'm gonna give my number one right here. And hey, Mark, we were just talking about how horrible that that genius decided to put the game on silent. I mean, you know, it troubles me today that they would ever do anything that stupid. And you said something that was going through my mind. That producer, if it was my network, he could pick up his paycheck that Monday. Yeah, because it would have been over. My number one team that I feel they're gonna have to show me something. I don't care whether they got Jimmy Butler or not. That's the Warriors.
Yep.
That is the Warriors. Right now, they're sitting in the ninth spot. That means that if the playoffs start, if the playoffs started today, they would be in the play-in games.
Yep.
And I don't quite trust them yet. I really don't, even with the addition of Jimmy Butler. Because Jimmy Butler, in many cases, Jimmy Butler, yeah, they call him Jimmy Buckets. That's corny as hell to me. Okay, fine. I'm talking about Jimmy attitude. Okay. How many teams have Jimmy Butler been on? Okay, was this he was with the Chicago Bulls, wasn't he?
That's one.
Okay. We know about the Miami Heat. Who else was he with?
He was with the Timberwolves before he went to Chicago.
The Timberwolves. So that's three. Any more before?
He was with Philly also.
Oh my God, folks! Do you see a pattern here?
Yep.
If little Jimmy don't like what he had, he's gonna complain he wanted to leave. Come on, dude. So prior to going to the Warriors, you telling me he was with 5 teams? Was it 5?
Let's see what you got: the T-Wolves, you got Chicago, you got Philly, you got Miami, and now we're Golden State. Yeah, this is number 5. Yeah.
He's not, look, that means every 2 or 3 years he gets pissed off and leave.
Right.
Because I don't think Jimmy been in the league no more than 10 years.
I mean, it's almost like he'll ball out the first year, but then something always happens. But then but like Mark said earlier about peaking out. He peaks out by year 3. You can say forget it.
No. See, nope. So to come up and the team, I like the Warriors with the exception of Draymond Green. You guys know that. Okay. I'm definitely not a Draymond Green fan. Draymond can do a lot of great things. But Draymond, to me, is like the guy to help you build the house Then he kicked out the damn foundation. Okay, he cannot control himself. Okay, that already costs the Warriors a championship. What it now? We talk about Kevin Durant when he was with the Warriors, which I thought he never should have left. I think that the Warriors would have maybe 2 more championships if KD had stayed there. And they didn't. He kind of said something about he really didn't have a problem with the Warriors, but he wanted to stay where he was on a losing Denver team. That unless they make some really drastic moves, I don't see it's going to do any better or get any better. Mark, if you're there, hey, I want your take on that. The team that I think needs to really come up and is the Golden State Warriors.
Well, Kevin Durant should have accepted that trade there.
Yep.
I mean, Jimmy Butler's okay, but next year at this time, he'll be disgruntled about something there. You know what I'm saying? So I think Kevin Durant made a mistake. Maybe he'll prove me wrong. That would have put them over the hump.
I think so. Like I said, I don't think he should have ever left. And Mark, I believe that Golden State, with the era of Steph Curry, they have 4 rings, right?
Yeah.
I think they would have 2 more if KD had stayed there. I honestly believe that.
I believe, to be honest, I think they'd have had 3 because they'd have beat Toronto if he wasn't hurt in that series.
Wow.
They'd have beat Toronto, and I think they'd have defended their title. I know Draymond created a little bit of drama with that stuff with Jordan Poole, but guess what? At certain points, if you got Kevin Durant, you got Steph, you almost got to keep Draymond just because of the energy he brings. Unfortunately for Clay, once he hurt his legs, I don't think he was ever the same.
Nope.
But he's playing better in Dallas.
Hey, because that pressure ain't on him like it was in Golden State.
Okay. Well, since you got Luka gone, I think that. Do you think that pressure is going to increase though? With the absence of Luka, because Luka can score. That's why I don't buy the thing that okay, you got to get used to another team. A scorer is a scorer. And Lucas, he scored. You got to give him this. When he was on the floor with Dallas, he gave you 24, 25.
But guess what? But as you see now, Dallas been winning since he's been gone.
Exactly.
And Kyrie has been showing out. They're going to be tough.
Wow. Well, and AD went down though, and you saying, okay, you think they can say? Go on.
They're on a 3-game winning streak right now. Currently.
As a matter of fact, yeah, they won the other night without AD, didn't they?
Yeah. They won last night. Right now against the Pelicans are horrible, but they also beat Miami, and they beat somebody else before the break.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So, in your opinion, who did that trade benefit? The Lakers or Miami, Mark? Mostly.
I'm praying it benefits the Lakers because if not, it's going to be a problem.
Oh, well, there's already some clapback on the trade anyway from a lot of different areas. So we got to see. I know that AD went down with an abdominal type sprain or something right there.
Yeah.
But then AD, he's had his time being injured also. Yeah. And you would think
that dude slap a fly, he might be out a week.
you know it's really crazy. Let's go back to era. I know we're talking about this is a whole different life. with the Pistons. Just think about anyway. You not Karl Malone. I'm thinking about who's that? The Bad Boys with the basketball has evolved so much into, I don't want to say assisted sport, but compared to back with those cats, man, the Bad Boys. Okay, let's go through the lineup on the Bad Boys. Okay, with Detroit, uh, Bill Laimbeer, one of the nastiest players ever. Uh, who else am I thinking about that was dirty? They had a
Well, man, hey, look, you had him. You had
Oh,
you
wait,
got
Mark.
you had Lambeer, Isaiah, Dumars, Rick Mahorn,
Yeah,
Dennis Rodman, John Sally, Vinnie Johnson, the microwave.
right.
Hey, them dudes was hardcore.
Yeah, and Mahorn. Oh boy, you talking about nasty?
yeah.
Oh, you talking about, oh my God, next to Lambeer, I don't know who was nastier. Now let's talk about the Chicago Bulls. Who they had there? They had some Rough Riders there too. Who did they have on that one?
Oh yeah. What? Charles Oakley,
Oh yeah,
Cartwright,
yeah.
Horace Grant.
Yeah. Who else did they have? Oh my God. I'm trying. Who else do we have on the Bulls, Mark?
Who's that?
On the Chicago Bulls that time. I mean,
What was it?
I'm talking about the Rough Riders, borderline dirty
What, for the Bulls?
on the Bulls.
They were tough. I mean, they had. Hey, again, they had Dennis. They had. You remember they had them 7-footers though. They had Luke Longley, Will Purdue. You know, you had some big boys. At that time, you had Jason Caffey. You had, man, it was rough. I mean, you got to remember you got to remember the New York Knicks was loaded at that time. Patrick Ewing, Charles Oakley,
Oh man,
the X-Man, Starks, Derek Harper. I mean, Indiana was rough. You had the Davis boys, Reggie Miller, Rick Smits.
okay.
And man, there was no easy walking in them cars. Boston was tough. It was no easy. Atlanta was tough. There was there was no easy walks.
It was none. I remember moving up a little bit a few years later. That brawl that happened, it wasn't in Indiana, but that's when it was Ron Artest.
The Malice in the Palace.
Malice at the Palace.
Yeah.
Hey, guys, I got a question to ask you. Was that the craziest thing that you've ever seen in basketball?
Well, I'll tell you what. I feel that I understood why he got pissed off.
Oh yeah, that white boy threw a couple of beer on him when he was on. Oh my God.
He was laying on the scorer's table, basically interviewing.
Yeah, and he wasn't bothering anybody. And this guy decided to throw a couple of beer on my man. Oh my God. Oh my God. And he said, what? He looked up and went up in the stands. And who was that? Oh my God. Who was that came over there and started throwing haymakers to right beside him? You know who I'm talking about? They ended up with the Spurs. You know who I'm talking about. This brother, he's power forward. Oh my God. He played with the Indiana Pacers along with the you guys got to help me out here. I'm trying to recap this in my head, and I'm seeing this whole event break out.
Jackson, Steven
Yep.
Jackson.
Okay.
Steven Jackson. Yeah. I had to think about it too.
Say that again.
I had to think about it too. It was Steven Jackson.
Steven Jackson. Wow. And Ron Artest. And Steven Jackson tells the story. He said at that time it was Ron Artest, right? He said Artest asked him, said, "Do you think that we might be in a little trouble afterwards?" And Steven Jackson said, he looked at him and said, "Man, we're looking. We even have jobs after this."
Oh man.
Man, it was crazy. But you know what? I think it was wrong. I wish you guys tell me if you think it was. I think it was wrong for them to suspend Artest for a whole year. For the rest of the year, I think that was wrong because number one, he was assaulted. He wasn't bothering anybody. He was assaulted, and that started that melee. The dude that threw the beer on him, I hope he was arrested. But I don't think that was right. Hey, Mark, what's your take?
That fan should never be allowed to attend another game.
Ever.
That's number one.
That's right.
And number two, several of those players could have got seriously hurt.
Yep.
Yeah.
In particular, Jermaine O'Neal, because he ran to throw a punch and he slipped.
Yep.
If he'd have landed that punch, he might just now be up for parole.
You know, I saw that. You're right.
You had on the back end of it, he could have tore his knee apart.
Yeah.
You know, it was just a mess. It was an embarrassment to the league, to be honest.
Yeah. Yep.
It was just a mess.
It was a mess. And my question is, see, that's why I think the punishment on Artest was way too hard. Even though it turned out to a melee, it was a complete. It was just chaos all over the place. But I think
it was. Well, you know what? He reacted on instinct. You going to throw a beer on me?
Right. Do I not have the right to defend myself? You know?
Because if that's the case, then y'all need to have better security in that building where that don't happen.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. So I'm going to start on the side of Artest right now because I think that in my opinion the punishment was too harsh. Yeah, give him a 5-game suspension, maybe.
They had to make it a little deeper than that, just because of how it was. I would say he warranted at least, I'd say, the 15 games. You had to make a statement because if they'd only made 2 or 4 or 5 games, hell, everybody'd be going up in the stands. So you had to make a statement.
Okay, Mark. Okay, all right, bro. I can appreciate your opinion, but the whole year?
No, that was ridiculous.
Oh man.
You know, and at the point when they suspended him for a whole year, I was thinking, I said, shucks, man, I hope they let this brother back in the league because it wasn't looking that way. That he would even get back in the league for that, right? So, okay, I wouldn't like a 15-game suspension. I would say, okay, Mark, let's meet halfway. How about 10 games? How about 10? You know, I said 5, you said 15. Let's meet in the middle. Maybe 10. Maybe 10. Okay. But anyway, K-Love.
Yeah.
Before we close this thing out, what do you have to say, bro?
Oh man, I mean, yeah, it was a really horrible scene all the way around, and the way they did it because they had to make an example out of him, and that's the reason why they did what they did.
I don't care.
I know. It's
I don't
sad.
care.
It like I guess it was like they don't want to get ridiculed by the end result, whatever.
Yeah.
So
Let me ask you this. Let me ask both. I don't know whether you guys know anything about this or not. Hey, Mark, I got a question for you. And you and Caleb both. Was the guy who threw the beer, was he ever arrested?
I don't know. I haven't heard anything to that effect. He
Right.
should have been.
That was assault.
Yeah.
Hey,
I
hey
mean,
Mark.
he should have
Let me
been
see if Mark.
prosecuted.
I know Mark is watching the boxing. Maybe that's perhaps why.
I'm right here. I'm right here.
Okay, hey Mark. Question: Did the guy who threw the beer on Artest, did he ever get arrested?
That's a good question. I don't because you know what? I think everybody was so caught up into what was happening. I'm sure they had to have caught that dude. Matter of fact, I think they did.
I think they caught him. As a matter of fact, I think he caught a punch too, didn't he? Didn't he get a punch? I think who were we talking about earlier? The conversation between Artest and Jackson. Somebody went over. I think they caught that. I think he caught a jawbreaker. I think he caught it. I think he did. I'm not sure, but did he get arrested? Because he should have been. Because that was assault. Hey guys,
He should have went to jail.
He should have. Okay, Mark. Any closing thoughts, bro?
No, just had a great time with you guys again, and I look forward to it for next week.
All right, and don't forget. Let me put it back up. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to make sure that you check out Cultural Excellence, WB and Nakaya, and that's Wednesday, 5:15 on the West Coast, 8:15 on the East. We just gonna play an array, a host of different music, smooth jazz, a little hip hop, Southern soul, blues, and a whole lot more R&B. Check it out on this coming Wednesday. This Wednesday. Tell a friend about it. K-Love, any final thought?
No, nothing over here, man. Just watching some basketball. Be on the lookout for some games tomorrow, for NBA games tomorrow, and see how it shakes out the rest of the week.
Okay, so who's on tonight that we might be interested in?
You got the Lakers and Nuggets at 8:30.
Okay.
And a doubleheader tomorrow. The first game is Knicks and Celtics at 1, and the Mavericks at Golden State at 3:30 on ABC.
All right. Hey, guys, kick back, grab a glass, and enjoy, and keep it locked right here on The Buzz. Studio W, Global Radio Network. We're on 24 hours a day.